You all set?
Council President, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park for August 18th, 2011 at 8:02 p.m. to order. On roll call, Council members Caravagna,
Present.
Castiglia,
Here.
Comboy,
I'm here.
Trowinski,
Here.
Work,
Here.
Council President Boncino,
Here.
and Mayor Mola is absent as he is on vacation.
So everyone rise for the prayer and flag salute. O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires at all commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing an annual meeting notice in the Record of Hackensack and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice has been posted on January 1st, 2011. Our council meetings will be held on cable channel 77, Tuesday at 12 noon, Thursday at 4 p.m., and Friday at 11 a.m.
Council President, this evening under the approval of minutes, we have the executive session of July 19th, 2011, the special work session of July 21st, 2011, the regular meeting of July 21st, 2011, and the executive session of July 21st, 2011.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved. I'll second.
Councilman Comboy and Councilman Castiglia.
On roll call, Council members Caravagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Comboy,
Yes.
Trowinski,
Yes.
Work,
I'll have to abstain. I was not attended at the meetings.
Boncino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Council President, this evening under ordinances, we have ordinances on first reading. Resolution 218-11, introduce ordinance 11-11 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled A Bond Ordinance to amend Section 3 of the Bond Ordinance, Ordinance Number 06-27, entitled Bond Ordinance, providing an appropriation of $340,000 for the 2006 road program in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $323,000 in bonds or notes of the borough for financing part of the appropriation, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, September 15th, 2011, at 8 p.m. or as the same thereafter can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the borough clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing is required by law.
We have a motion, please.
So moved.
Councilman Comboy, second.
Second.
Councilman Trowinski. Any discussion?
Council President, through you to the members of the council, this is just a housekeeping item relative to bond council. This has nothing to do with the 2011 road program. It's just shifting some money from the 2006 road program to an active project.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Caravagna,
Yes.
Castiglia,
Yes.
Comboy,
Yes.
Trowinski,
Yes.
Work,
Yes.
Boncino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 219-11, introduce 11-12 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 2 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Administration, and specifically Ordinance 2-1.1 entitled Organization of the Governing Body, and Ordinance 2-2.1 entitled Organization of the Council Meetings, thereof, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, September 15th, 2011, at 8 p.m. or as the soon thereafter can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Please be further resolved that the borough clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
We have a motion on the ordinance.
So moved.
Councilman Castiglia, second.
Second.
Councilman Work. Any discussion?
Is this, excuse me, is this
ordinance new, or we had this in place before?
Through you, Council President, to the members of the council, the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Rigantano, and I have been working for the past few weeks on the governor's best practice checklist. As part of that, we're required to fit into a certain percentage bracket, and if we do not answer those questions in the affirmative, we run the risk of losing some of our aid, some of our state aid that's allocated to Elmwood Park. As part of that, one of the requirements of this checklist is to have an attendance policy for board members and for members of the governing body. So if you miss a certain number of meetings during an 8-week time period, the governing body, without a valid excuse, the governing body could take action to have you removed. What Mr. Giblin has done here is taken the state statute and applied that to our own ordinance book, and therefore the statute and our code book will mirror one another with regard to attendance for both elected officials in this particular ordinance and appointed board members in the subsequent one.
Thank you, yeah. How many times the mayor been absent?
Never.
In 37 years.
Okay, call the roll.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Lewinsky.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 247-11, introduce ordinance 11-13 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend chapter of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Personnel Policies be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, September 15th, 2011 at 8 o'clock or as soon thereafter as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing is required by law.
Have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Councilman Caramagna, second.
Second.
Councilman Work. Any discussion?
Council President, through you, as I mentioned to Councilman Catamagna, this modification in the ordinance book will affect absentee policy for appointed board members.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Councilman. Call the roll.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Lewinsky.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 220-11, introduce ordinance 11-10 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Traffic, and whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, July 21st, 2011, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend an ordinance of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Traffic pass on final reading. The Council President will need a motion to open to the public.
Yes. Motion, please, to open to the public.
So moved.
Councilman Chawinski, a second.
Second.
Councilman Castiglia.
On roll
Anybody?
call, Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Chawinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes. Would anybody in the public like to
Open the volume.
We've pumped up the volume, Mel. Pump up the volume. Huh? I have it. The one that's the one that's all the way up. There's a minute. We're at full power, Captain.
Well, the mayor's not here. We don't know what to do.
Can you hear us? Hey. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
All right. We've got full power, Captain. Keith, good job.
Does anybody in the public wish to be heard relative to this ordinance? No takers. We'll close this portion to the public. Need a motion?
So moved.
Councilman Chawinski, second.
Second.
Councilman Conboy.
Discussion?
I need a motion on the ordinance.
So moved.
Councilman Conboy, second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? This ordinance is to address the traffic adjacent to the high school on Gilbert Avenue, and it'll limit left turns between certain hours onto River Road, and it'll also restrict turns onto Gilbert Avenue from River Road in both directions. On passage of this ordinance, it'll go to the county for their due diligence, and then the signs will be updated. Call the roll.
On roll call, Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Chawinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Council President, this evening under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 221-11, payment of bills, Resolution 222-11, confirmation of checks, Resolution 223-11, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 224-11, cancel balances of completed general capital improvement authorization, Resolution 225-11, refund third-party tax lien, Havid David Development LLC, Resolution 226-11, refund third-party tax lien, Joseph and Dorothy DeNova, Resolution 227-11, refund third-party tax lien, U.S. Bank Cust Crester Capital, Resolution 228-11, refund third-party tax lien, Clemente Enterprises LLC, Resolution 229-11, refund third-party tax lien, Lionheart Holdings LLC, Resolution 230-11, refund credit tax balances, Resolution 231-11, release cash bond, M. Marin Restoration in the amount of $2,000, Resolution 232-11, appoint junior volunteer firefighter Anju Konada. Resolution 233-11, authorize stipulation of settlement with Elmwood Cooperative Apartments. Resolution 234-11, authorize stipulation of settlement with 251 Molnar Drive Realty Association. Resolution 235-11, authorize stipulation of settlement for the Parkview Cooperative Apartments. Resolution 236-11, refund road opening. Resolution 237-11, authorize award bid for bond anticipation note, Janie Montgomery, in the amount of $5,900,000. Resolution 238-11, authorization to submit the Bergen County Open Space Grant application for English Avenue Park improvements in the amount of $30,000. Resolution 239-11, appoint part-time employee in the municipal court, Maria Kappa Foschini. Resolution 240-11, grant permission for block party on 15th Avenue. Resolution 241-11, renew liquor license for the 2011-2012 license year for Sri Jana LLC. Resolution 242-11, authorize online auction of surplus property. Resolution 243-11, appoint temporary inspector in the building department. Resolution 224-11, authorize purchase of playground equipment for English Avenue Park. Resolution 245-11, authorize submission of application for the Municipal Alliance Grant for calendar year 2012 in the amount of $24,314. And Resolution 246-11, which was in your packet this evening, approve alcohol beverage control permit for a social affairs permit for the Elmwood Park Patterson Elks Lodge Local 60.
Need a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Councilman Chewinski, second.
Second.
Councilman Stiglia, any discussion?
Council President, if I may, only because we did not have a work meeting due to a cancellation of a personnel matter earlier in the month, I'd just like to review a few of these with the governing body. With regard to the appointment of a part-time employee in the municipal court, I was informed late last week that one of our full-time employees assigned to the municipal court will be out of the office on family medical leave for an undisclosed time, caring for an ill family member. So that is the reason that we are requesting for a part-time employee in the municipal court. Relative to 243-11, which is a temporary inspector in the building department, we have an employee there who is required to go into surgery. The tentative time period of his return looks to be about 6 weeks, and we just need someone to fill that gap. With regard to the authorization of the purchase of playground equipment for English Avenue Park, 244-11, that is relative to the 2010 grant. The 2011 application is listed under Resolution 238-11.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman. Call the roll.
On roll call, council members: Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
Sherwinski?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Council President, this evening under applications, we have a 50-50 raffle for the Friends of Homeless Animals of New Jersey.
We need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Conboy, Work?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Council President, there are no departmental reports for this meeting, so we're on to committee reports.
We'll move to committee reports. I guess we'll start with Councilman Work.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, the Elmwood Park Health Department still will be continue offering the free adult consultation and child health care clinics to the residents of Elmwood Park. The next adult consultation clinic will be held on September 20th, which is Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the private clinic room in the municipal building. This clinic is available for all adults from 18 years and older, and no appointment is required, and walk-in residents are welcomed. The child health clinic will be held on September 1st, which is a Thursday morning from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m., and also September 12th, which is a Monday evening from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And a pediatrician and registered nurse will be on site. And this clinic is for children without health insurance coverage and those not enrolled in the New Jersey Family Care. And this clinic is by appointment only, so please call the Elmwood Park Board of Health. You can reach them at area code 201-796-1457, extension 604, to set up your appointment. The Elmwood Park Health Department continues to offer the vaccines provided from the AAR, which is the American Recovery Reinvestment Act program, at no charge during the adult consultation clinics. These vaccines are available to any resident or citizen of New Jersey, regardless if they are covered by insurance or not. The Elmwood Park Health Department is one of the few towns that offers these vaccines in the area. We used to have 4 of these vaccines available. Right now, we only have 2. They are limited right now. The only 2 we have left is the Menactra, which is the vaccine used for prevention of meningitis, and Tdap, which is for the prevention of tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough. Like I said, these free vaccines will be available at the next adult consultation clinic, which is on September 20th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. The Elmwood Park Health Clinic held a vision screening clinic on June 23rd that was well attended. It's considering holding another vision screening clinic in the future, and I will get back to you once I get those confirmed dates. They also are considering having another free rabies clinic for the pets in the future, and once again, I will have to get back to you when those dates have been confirmed. Also, the Mayor Council took another step in sharing services as we were looking to share service with Saddlebrook, with our Board of Health Department. It looks like Saddlebrook is going to be approving that, signing off on that contract, and the sharing services contract will start on September 1st. So it looks like there will be quite a few more people, hopefully quite a few more people attending these free clinics. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Conboy?
Thank you, Council President, Mr. Boncino, and Acting Mayor.
All right, enough.
All right, folks. A couple of weeks ago, we had a very nice national night out. It was a great evening. It was nice and cool, so that helped it to be nice. The spray ground parks were open. Everyone who came out last year when we had it, some folks were skeptical on how many folks would come out from town. We had a little over 400 last year. We know that we've had close to 600 this year, so obviously it's becoming a very good attended event. I want to thank all the folks. I'm going to read off a few names here who helped make it a great night and a great event. I know for some folks this may matter. Most though it doesn't, but just so everyone knows, the whole mayor and council, this was at no cost to the borough in any kind of way. As a matter of fact, we had funds left over from last year's donations that we received from many of our businesses in town, and so there was a little surplus left from that, so we used that. Plus, we got some more donations this year from many other organizations here in town, and we had a great evening. First, I would like to thank the mayor and council. Everybody was there that night, giving out whether it was Italian ices. 3 councilmen all did that, so their hands were all different colors depending on the flavor they had, and everyone did a really great job. I'd like to thank Dee Calandrillo from down in the ambulance corps, and also she works down in our police department during the day. That's the nice voice you get during the day when you call here if you have to, God forbid, for an emergency. So I want to thank Dee and P. Pius and all the other members of the ambulance corps who volunteered that evening. Chief Sulik and all of his members of the fire department, they did a great job in the parking lot. I'd like to thank our Chief of Police, Donna Glassolino, and his staff, and Deputy Chief Palmieri, who 3 hours before the event had just got off a cruise ship and came on down and helped, and all of the officers that were down there to help the evening. I'd like to thank Raphael, DJ Raphael, everybody knows him. He donated his services that night, and I also want to congratulate him and wish him the best. He just opened a business here on Market Street, his Sound Surge company, so good luck to him on that. I'd like to thank Barbara DiPaspoto in our borough clerk's office. She was able to get a number of freebies to be given out that night from the Alliance. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce, who's been getting off the ground over the last few months. You've heard me mention it. In a short amount of time period, the Chamber has really grown. You can catch them on our own website. They now have a bullet on our website and contact information. I'd like to thank their current president, John Oreca, who manned the table with his wife Wendy and other members who at the last minute sprung into action, gave a lot of giveaways from a lot of businesses in towns. The freebies were a big hit, and they gave away over 500 plus bags of chips and so forth. So I'd like to thank the Chamber on all that. I'd like to thank all the department heads who helped out from behind the scenes. DPW cleaned up and everything's set. The rec department had the spray grounds opened and so forth. So I'd like to thank all those departments for that. It was a great evening. There was a watermelon eating contest, seedless. We had 3 winners. Kmart had given us a great discounted price on 3 bicycles with helmets, so they were given out, and we had a lot of great winners. Hopefully that picture will make it into the shopper in the next edition. Since we won't be meeting until after sometime in mid-September, another public meeting, as we move forward, I just want to remind everybody as we come on it's been 10 years since 9/11, of that tragic morning, so let's try to keep all those families in our prayers as that date approaches. I'd like to also wish everybody enjoy the rest of the remaining weeks of the summer. I know Frank can't wait to get back to school, so his summer vacation is coming to an end.
You can tell, right?
And don't forget, since we won't see you two after, again, I will be, the guest appearance at the Zeppeli booth at St. Leo's. The carnival's coming. It's a great evening to come on out. This year we'll have funnel cakes again. And so everybody enjoy the rest of the summer. Thank you, Council President Lou Vancino.
Thank you, Councilman Convoy. Councilman Caramagna?
Yeah, I really don't have much. I had a question on Resolution 23911, was already answered by Board Clerk, and also on 24311, so you answered that.
Yeah.
I do have a question for Councilman Wark. Do you know if all the inspections have been done by our actual, what do you call...
That I will have to check.
Yeah.
I know she's doing quite a few of them. I know she's been going out, but I'll have to check.
Somebody... Is that a question?
Well, it is September 1st. She's going to be supposed to be doing 100%.
Yeah, and also there was a question here, but I don't know if I should ask you now. How many computers did she buy recently? I think she bought about 5 computers. Are you aware of that? Laptops? No?
No, I don't know.
Right. English have. Mrs. Pugliese get the map from TNM. They should look at it and about renovating English Avenue Park.
Councilman Caramagna, English Avenue, as you were at the meeting, right, the day we brought them in? The rec chairman was here, Mr. DiLorenzo and Donna at a work meeting?
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes, you were. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to state that if you weren't. As you know, at that meeting, we discussed that we're going to get real aggressive with the unfortunate news from the county, which, don't get me going, I'm still angry about. We had the first phase of this current open space money that we are going to complete some of the projects that we have down there. Then as you saw tonight, we're approving the other 30, so that will be getting us 60 next year. We put up 30, we get 30. And we're going to continue that whole plan in the coming weeks or in the coming months. We will look at that original sketch that was done. Already they, at the rec meeting in July, after we met with them, the commission met and talked about the original proposal, selling maybe of one of the lots, and using those funds if the mayor and council choose to do so, using those funds to finish the whole English side half. So expanding the whole piece, as you know, the mayor mentioned it. He's for it to move out those pieces, clean out that whole lot there, those lots. So it's moving forward.
Okay,
Quickly.
so we are able to expand the field more, right?
Right now, that's going to happen. The little piece that we already talked about, leveling it where the trees were and everything, that was already in there. The playground piece, and then this next piece that we're going to apply for now in this year will help that piece. And then they're going to look at that map again. I know you have it. The original schematic.
Yeah. All right. I enjoyed also the night out was good. Gave us so much lemonade.
Yeah.
The kid I saw in the picture came in at least 5 times. I saw in the shop. I said, "You're gonna sleep tonight." Anyhow, thank you. I have nothing else for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Zawinski?
Yes, thank you, Lou. There was no joint insurance meeting this month in August. However, at the fire department meeting, they finally received the steel from the 9/11 memorial, and it will be posted in the Firemen's Memorial. There will be a special candlelight ceremony on September 10th, probably between 7 and 7:30. They're still figuring out the time and the schedule. And after the ceremony, there will be refreshments at Company 4. They also started to fill out the 2011 Homeland Security Grant, which is open to the fire department now. They filled out the first 50 pages, and they're working on the rest of it. But needless to say, the funds are limited this year, so hopefully we'll get something. They're in the process of finalizing their Wildwood Convention. And as far as the fire department, that's it. The county, I attended the county freeholder meeting, and as you know, they went negative on their taxes this year. They did go down pennies, but they are in the right direction. And this is the agenda if anybody wants to see it and compare it to previous administration's agendas, which is very light. On another note, though, a lot of people have been calling me about the library tax that's on your bill. I just want to point out that that tax is required by the state of New Jersey. It is 1/3 of assessed value, 1/3 of a mill of assessed value of a house that was made back in the 1940s and 50s. There's current legislation to reduce that in half, as we know. There's other legislation that is trying to give some of the taxpayers back that money. And I explained to the people that this tax has been around forever, but they have never been aware of it because it is not actually printed on your tax bill, as the governor is making you aware of it now. And we will be looking to streamline some of our things at the library, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Louis. There hasn't been much on the planning board. It's August. There's no meetings in August with the planning board. Some people might have read the article in the Shopper that had to do with the master plan, the reviews of the master plan. The governor signed into law. It was mandated by the state that every municipality has to review their master plan every 6 years. The governor just signed into law, I believe it was in May. Now it can be reviewed every 10 years. It usually costs a borough between $20,000 and $60,000 to do this review. So by extending it an extra 4 years, you're not really going to be saving a lot of money. But the part that I agree with it most of all is a lot of communities like ours considered 95% built out already, or at least that much. And to review a master plan every 6 years is really something that's put on a burden on the municipality that isn't really something that's necessary. So now it's been extended to 10 years, and I just wanted to say I'm in favor of that. It's something that should have been done probably a long time ago. Also, the only other thing I have is it's yard waste season again. So make sure that you get your yard waste recycling out on the same day as recycling bottles and cans. And that's it. And Lou, you're doing a fantastic job. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you, Councilman.
He looks very comfortable.
We don't miss him at all.
Now it's all going to fall apart with my report.
Everybody's relax.
Nice guy.
Our turn. No report? No report. I just wanted to comment briefly on National Night Out. Councilman Conboy did a pretty good job thanking everybody who contributed to making the night a success. But I wanted to comment on, a lot of times we interact with our emergency services folks, fire, ambulance, and the police when there's an emergency, where there may be trauma or where you're not thinking straight and you or your family are in need. It was good to see that interaction in a community event so the members of our community can place faces and names with the people who provide the first responder service and hopefully gain an appreciation of the time that they put into making this town a safe community for all of us. A couple of meetings ago, I commented on the crossing situation on Broadway at the train station. There's a pedestrian crossing between the Broadway train station and the park and ride that's located in Elmwood Park. And at that time, the Department of Transportation was in the process of installing pedestrian-initiated crossing lights, LED lights, to warn the traffic of pedestrians crossing and hopefully to remind them of the New Jersey state law to stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk. Evidently, motorists still don't understand the concept of pedestrians in the right-of-way and the crosswalk, because there's been a number of instances where cars haven't stopped for pedestrians. Recently, there was an article you may have seen in the Record, the Road Warrior, that our police department went out there and did an enforcement at that crossing, and to everybody's surprise, they gave out over 90 summonses that day for people who did not stop or yield for pedestrians in the crosswalk. Now, while that might not be something that's going to be the ultimate solution, my hope, and I think it's our police department's hope, that it raises awareness of the situation and the statute to stop for pedestrians. So hopefully going forward, the lights, coupled with periodic enforcement, as the police department has the resources to do, will kind of improve the crossing experience for our commuters in the town. So hopefully we'll see improvement in that area. Our police department made 17 arrests earlier this month at a DWI checkpoint on Route 46. Our police department ranked 4th in the state, making arrests at these checkpoints. This ranking was performed by the New Jersey Drunk Driving Enforcement Fund, and through the efforts of our police department and these arrests, we were eligible last year for $30,500. And those funds will be put toward future DWI enforcements in the borough. That number was up by $10,000 from last year. It reflects the hard work of our police department in clearing the roads of these drunk driving menaces, and again, a major step in making our community a safer community. So I want to applaud their efforts. That's all I have, Keith. So with that, I can open the meeting to the public. Do you have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Sure, why not?
Councilman Conboy. Second. Councilman Castiglia.
Second.
Anybody?
No takers?
Since nobody approaches?
Nope.
Okay.
Close it, Lou Herman.
Close the meeting to the public. We can make a motion.
Madam President, through you, we do not have an executive session this evening, but as I mentioned earlier, we have the best practices checklist that is due by September 1st to the Department of Community Affairs and Training, and as such, we have to discuss that checklist before that time. So at this time, I'd recommend that the council take a motion to adjourn to a work session, and then a meeting after that is concluded from the conference room.
Can I have a motion to adjourn to a work session?
So moved.
Councilman Chewinski?
Second.
Councilman Work? All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Okay.
Good job, Lou.
Wow, okay.
Wonderful job.
Make sure we heavily redact that
very
video.
impressed.